Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. It's an unboxing day today, couple of cool ones, most of them we haven't seen before, but there is one repeat in here, as well as a sponsor for today's episode. But let's go ahead and crack into this brand new Gibson guitar. So this is one of the new releases that Gibson did that they've already done before, but they did this in a different way. And if I'm being realistic here, I really don't understand what the differences were or why they decided to do this again. But maybe it's because the last one was like super ultra heavily relic aged. They wanted to do something a little bit more not aged for the people that don't like that kind of stuff. Because this particular guitar was actually history in the making. I remember the day when they actually found this thing. It had been believed to have been lost for such a long period of time, burnt up in a fire. But then, many a years later, he was reunited with it. So what guitar is that we're talking about? Well, his last name is Frampton, and his first name is Peter. I think that gives you guys a little bit of an idea of what might be sleeping inside this beautiful, completely black case. Oh, that looks nice. It's the Peter Frampton Les Paul Custom. So, if you know the story about this one, it was originally a staple Alnico 5 Black Beauty, so that means it had essentially two P90s, but then it was routed out, modified over the years, and it was just his #1 guitar that he loved. And, you know, the rest of the tale that I was just telling you of how it got lost in a plane crash / plane fire. It was awesome when they ended up finding this thing, because that was not that long ago. And when that happened, Gibson did a super relic reissue. And ultimately, I think that is the one that I want to do my full review and demo on. So nothing against this brand new custom shop iteration. I wanted to get it in and at least unbox it on the show. But if I'm going to review and demo one of these, I want it to be the one that has like the missing binding on the headstock. It looks all beat up. It's pretty darn cool, I think. But first impressions, yes, this is definitely a VOS finish, so you can see all those light scratches. It kind of looks like a used guitar when it's brand new. Then you've got the feel. That's kind of a thin neck, like not overly thin. Very akin to like a 70s neck profile, I would say. Like, this really does feel comfortable as a guy who's played a lot of 70s Les Pauls. Not that that's what this originally was. But some other unique features here are no pickguard stock from the factory. You've got triple humbuckers here, and this one is wired in a non-stock way, so you actually have individual volumes for each one and then a master tone, if I'm remembering correctly. But surprisingly enough, what? Why did they do a Nashville-style bridge? That doesn't make any sense. His original definitely would have been an ABR1. Maybe it was converted at some point in time. I'm not really all that familiar, to be honest. I haven't paid a close attention to his. But you also get his signature here on the 12th fret, so what a cool guitar. I'm really digging this. Maybe I will have to do a review and demo on it after all. But something else I want to talk about is, looking at these new custom shop cases, I was not a big fan. I don't like this gray interior. It reminds me of the cheap cases that you can buy for like 80 bucks. But the feel is significantly different as compared to those cases. It's just the regular custom shop material, but I really think they should go back to that beautiful interior, but maybe with staining the finish or something. But as far as not having any Gibson branding on the outside, that's a nice touch. Sometimes the reissue style guitars will just get the badge right there. That's a pretty cool guitar. But before we go ahead and unbox some more stuff, we do have a sponsor of today's episode. They've sponsored the show before. This is another one from Donner. So now today we get to look at Donner's musical metronome. Nice. I don't know what it is with me. I've always wanted one of these things because having an app on my phone setting the beat, I know it's convenient, but I've always wanted something tactical that I can touch, physically set, and have it go. Because I find the phone will distract me, some email will come in for business. I mean, sure, I could put it on airplane mode, that'd probably be alright. But then I might miss an important email, so just having something like this, that way I don't have to be on my phone, I think is beneficial to me. So that's why I wanted to check one of these things out. So if you're interested in purchasing something from Donner, you can visit their website, donnerdeal.com, and follow those affiliate links in the description. But hey, look at this. It actually has like a faux wood look to it. I don't know if it's actually made out of wood. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's made out of plastic, but at least they try to make it look fancy, right? So I've actually never had one of these things. It looks like you set the weight here to whatever beats per minute. So like that'd be 200 beats per minute right here, or we can bring it all the way up. And it is notched, that actually feels pretty good to do. Then you wind it up using this side. And then after you've wound it up, you got to push in on this to get it off of the stopper right here. And then it just automatically starts going. So sure, it might be kind of a pain to have to do that, but at least then, as I was saying, you're not distracted by your phone having that on there. And it just kind of looks nice sitting on your piano or wherever you practice. It looks legit. So very cool. Thank you for Donner for sponsoring this episode, and let's get on to some more unboxing. Our next one here has a little bit of a story behind it. So as you all know, I do offer an international forwarding service to get guitars out of the country. And I also do it the opposite way, but it doesn't fall within the exact same program terms. Like if you see a guitar that's overseas and you're not comfortable importing it back, I can assist you. This one's kind of a combination because he doesn't live in the USA, but he still needed help getting it. But unfortunately, between point A and point B of this thing arriving within the States, he needed the money back in order to pursue some other non-musical interests. So all before this even got here, I ended up buying it back from him because we were contemplating like just doing a consignment on it to help him out. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to, make people have hardships over buying guitars. So I just bought it back from him, and then I'm going to sell it on my own because that was a lot faster than waiting for this thing to come in. But unfortunately, we've already reviewed this guitar, so I can't really do it again. But inside here sleeps another Jino jazz bass, if anybody is so inclined to be interested in one of these. So if you happen to have missed the full review and demo, this is a really cool jazz bass right here because it has the matching headstock. Jino himself is just a crazy man on the bass. And you have a humbucker pickup in the middle with the two jazz pickups, and then all this active frequency EQ stuff here. Check out the full review and demo if you want to learn more about this thing. But it looks like this arrived okay. It was probably a stored demo. They just didn't tell me because there are some scratches on the pickguard. Nothing crazy. I do see like a small impression down here, so that was probably a strap more so than shipping damage. So lightly used despite being sold to me as brand new. But yeah, cool Jino jazz bass with great wood grain on the back here. These things always have really nice neck profiles. It's basically like a Gibson R7 neck. As far as a bass goes anyways, I think you're going to enjoy this, especially in this territory. Like it thins out up here, but this, really comfortable if you're just laying down those basic bass lines. And up here, a little bit better for the more virtuoso players. So you can check this out on my website, troglysguitarshow.com. And lastly here, this is actually going to be a really cool guitar that I'm not sure if I should review and demo it or not because it's had some modifications to it. And it's pretty much a repeat of a guitar that I demoed last year. If I remember correctly, it was around Halloween time. And for your first hint, one of these giant, heavy, clunky flight cases. I think it's funny how I go from like not getting these things at all to like, I think every single episode of the unboxing series for the past couple, we've had one of those. And I guess calling it clunky, that's not very nice. These aren't clunky, they're just heavy. But if you're flying with it, that would make sense to have. But inside here is another Guitar Center exclusive model. And it is this. I think they called it the Blood Moon, something similar to that. But this is basically a take on that gray one that we reviewed earlier this year. And I wanted to review this, but I thought, it's the exact same guitar. Like this is heavily weight relieved. And that was the reason why the owner decided to sell this one. He wanted a heavier Les Paul. But it's essentially the same guitar, but instead of having that translucent kind of grayish top, they decided to do the next year in this blood red finish, which I thought was cool, but I kind of like the other one a little bit better. But this one has undergone some modifications, which it kind of excludes it from being reviewed. I mean, we could do it really quick right here. See, my biggest thing is they still did the neck in the trans gray finish. I mean, the figuring didn't look that great in photos, but it's actually pretty okay right here. And then the logo is also kind of grayed out. It just doesn't make sense to me with the red right here. I feel like they should have did the red back stain of the neck as well as the red logo. And then I would have been all over buying one of these things brand new. Same thing with your inlays here. If they would have did like a red stained one, that would have been sweet. But I feel like Guitar Center dropped the ball a bit on these. So if you're interested in this one, I'll list it on my website. Again, troglysguitarshow.com. This definitely has been played quite a bit though, because the satin finish has worked up into a gloss in this area, as well as right here and there. It's got picking scratches, and the pickups have been modified in this one. But a very cool guitar nonetheless, a late 2020 serial number. Super thin neck, like wow, that is thin. But if I remember correctly, the mods were he took out the PCB and rewired it with normal ones, but yet he still did the push-pull pots, so you can still do your fancy electronics on this. So in many ways, that is just a bonus and a plus, and you get this super heavy-duty case. Alright, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care. As always, if you're interested in being the next owner of one of these demo guitars, you can check them out on my website, troglysguitarshow.com. There's some links in the description.